Hello and welcome to the Secret Group. My name is Brady Theodore. I'm here along with Mark Lalone and the other members of this group, all leaders in the industry where you've got special access to information, tools, and yes, people. I want to take the time to welcome you and say thank you for joining the most dynamic team in MLM today, where we are doing things that other people don't even have a clue about. And this is why it's secret.
Well, you're going to have 1,000 people at the event. That's the goal.
The goal. I'll have my book ready by then.
The whole thing there, the whole thing, everything you just said sounded to me, and I've heard a lot of friggin' speakers.
That's smart.
Yeah, it sounded to me like it was planned, like it was flowing, like everything you said followed the previous topic. It followed, and the reason that happens is because of this. The reason, like, it was beautiful.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I learned a lot. I'm using this as content. You're going to want to cut this out.
Holy cow, Tom. This is where you can come in and join us and find out what we're doing and what we're learning and working together. But anyway, I want you to listen to Tom and what he had to say the other night within this group meeting. It was absolutely amazing. He had us all just dropping our jaws. So listen up.
A quick question, Tom, just before you go. How long have you been bodybuilding? Since a kid?
No. Actually, you want to hear something strange? That's a result of a mindset experiment.
Mm-hmm.
You're pretty tight for your age. You know what I mean?
That's mindset. You know, it's all my time in network marketing. I was always preached mindset.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I never put any value to it. I always thought it was something that the successful people told the unsuccessful people just to kind of pacify them. And I guess about 3-4 years ago, being online and stuff like that, I started looking at YouTube. I saw a YouTube video of a guy. He was an ex-rock and roll promoter, secluded himself in the Pacific Northwest to learn about the powers of the mind. And he exposed a lot of the science behind it. And I realized there was science behind it. So I dove deep into it and became a student of it and absorbing it and how to influence our subconscious programming and how to actually re-express our genes. We can actually re-express our genes in an up expression or a down expression. You know, if your thoughts alone can make you sick and ill, you know, stress and things like that, those same thoughts can make you better. You know, a study called epigenetics, where you're able to influence the regulation of the genes, you know, from the outside. It's epigenetics, in other words, the genes don't determine everything. It's the environment around them. And that environment a lot of time is the toxic, you know, chemicals that we release in our bodies because of our thoughts. Mm-hmm. Learn how to do this. You know, those proteins that create muscle, actin and niacin, well, your genes that create those proteins, they're on a down regulation. And a lot of it is because of, you know, your past and your environment that you're in. A lot of it's your beliefs. You believe you're getting older. You believe you get a certain age, you can't build muscle. Well, what happens is your genes start to down-regulate in those patterns. And they replicate, those cells replicate. They replicate with those same things. But you can actually start to change that through your thought process alone and start to change all that. Same with your production of collagen and elastin for your skin and stuff like that. You can actually start to tap into that and start to make yourself, you know, better. And that was, you know, when I started, because when I was working out at the gym, you know, I always would have liked to gotten like that. And they'd tell me, well, you know, you're at a certain age, you can't get like that. It's not going to happen. You're lucky to maintain whatever you had. And I was like, well, so then when I started to learn about mindset, I said, well, you know, let me try applying some of this stuff where I'm learning in mindset to be, you know, consistent and eliminating those limiting beliefs and things like that. And once I started to tap into that, the power of vision is powerful. You know, your vision of your success. See, if you're not defined by a vision of your success in the future, you'll be relegated to reliving your past over and over and over again. And when you learn how to design your own life and have that vision, you're actually able to create, this is one of the tools I use to custom build comfort zones. You want a custom build comfort zone that you don't have to leave to perform the actions that you need to do to have the success that you want. Right now, you've got to leave your comfort zone to take those actions of making those 100 calls a day. You've got to leave your comfort zone. If you built the comfort zone where that's a normal everyday occurrence, it's no longer an issue. It's like waking up in the morning and grabbing your toothbrush with this hand, your toothpaste with that hand, hitting those same back molars. It becomes that regular. And you can all do this by simply, the vision statement is one of the most powerful things. That's the first that's the catalyst to the whole change. Because without that vision of what that success looks like in the future, there's no way to achieve it. Everything you see, look around the room you're sitting in now. Everything you see was, before it existed, was a vision in someone's mind. And it's the same thing with your success. Until you can see it, you feel it, you taste it. And the more senses you can evoke vision of success, the more powerful that is. And then you've got to identify the beliefs that are holding you back. Then you got to identify the beliefs that you're going to need to have to achieve that success. And you take those limiting beliefs that you have and you transform those into affirmations of ability. And now what happens is you actually create a new personal reality based upon your future success. And now taking those actions is part of your everyday, because your adaptive subconscious program that we run on a daily basis that runs 96 to 90% of our day. Well, that program now is based on your past, everything you've done, all the beliefs that have been passed on to you and stuff like that. But your new beliefs that you instilled, rewrite that new subconscious program to be a program based upon your success. So now what happens is your subconscious, one of the key roles of your subconscious is survival of the species, keeping you alive. Well, that's where your comfort zone comes upon. Your comfort zone is that area where your subconscious feels you're safe. It's that nice little secure area where if you're operating there, everything's safe and sound. You don't have to worry. When you step out of that to do those things, take on those actions, your comfort zone sees you outside of that comfort zone. It wants you safe. So it starts to bring things like limiting beliefs, procrastination, self-doubt, lack of confidence. All those starts to throw those things at you to get you back in that comfort zone. But if you build a comfort zone that encompasses the actions that you need to take, that will allow your subconscious program to be built upon that. So now those things that you once struggled with now become part of your everyday, just like waking up, grabbing that same coffee mug every day, picking up the phone or getting on a Zoom or chatting with someone to get them get them to a Zoom. That becomes part of everyday occurrence. It's become part of you, and your subconscious is doing whatever it can to keep you safe and sound in that area. It's like setting that internal thermostat on your wall. Set that thermostat on the wall for 70 degrees. Well, you open the window in the wintertime and it cools down. Well, the heater, that cybernetic device is going to come on and it's going to heat it back up. It's the same thing with that self-image. Once you create that self-image, everything else is going to do whatever it can. It starts to reprogram your reticular activating system. Your reticular activating system, which filters every sense that we have. Right now, there's things out there that'll help you with your success in your business, but right now you have blinders on, not allowing you to see them because your reticular activating system doesn't feel it's important for you. That's why, you pick up that new car and you're driving home that first night, you're so excited. On the interstates, traveling the opposite direction in the slow lane, you pass 5 of them. You've never seen one on the road before, but now you're seeing them everywhere. Why? Because it's something that's important to you. By creating that new subconscious program, that new self-image, that new vision, you actually reprogram that reticular activating system. Now what happens is you're going to hear the conversations, you're going to see the posts, you're going to hear that information, you're going to adapt the skill. See, I can't train somebody a skill until they internally have a need for it, because otherwise their subconscious is going to say, there's no need for this. This isn't who I am. I don't need to waste my energy for this. But once you become that person first on the inside, see, everybody waits for the, external gratifications. It's called delayed gratification. You've got to have that first inside before anything can happen. Once you learn how to do that and put this into work, you can pretty much design whatever you want to happen, I'm pretty passionate about this because it's made such a major transformation for me in so many areas of my life. But the key is, this is stuff that they never taught you in grammar school, they never taught you in high school, they never taught you in the university. Most of the time, the only people who will ever learn is about 95% of people will go through life thinking life is living a reactionary life, thinking life is happening to them. When in fact, it's happening to them, it's happening for them. It's just not happening for the them that they want it to. It's happening to the them of the past. When you can reprogram who life is happening for, the new person of your success in the future, everything changes. Everything changes.
Wow. Tom.
Here, who was it you got it from? The YouTube guy that you initially...
The guy's name was John Keogh. He was a rock and roll promoter, and it was just a simple little 1-hour interview. I mean, he didn't get into a lot of details, but he got into that there was science behind it. And when I heard that, then I started to dig even deeper. And as I did, I started to uncover more and more. I learned about how we can actually influence our body with just our thoughts alone. Think about this. You're constantly laying there at work thinking about the things that you've got to do at the job the next day, thinking about the co-workers or the paying the bills. Those thoughts continuously thinking of that over and over and over, invoke the hormones of stress. See, stress is basically a survival mechanism. It's fight or flight method. Hormones of stress, what happens when we get in a stressful situation, what happens is our body completely changes chemically. What happens is adrenaline, cortisol are released in heavy concentrations in our bloodstream. Glucose production is upgraded. Our blood is filled with glucose. Our internal organs, the blood vessels feeding our internal organs, get shunted to force most of the blood flow to their extremities so we can run, get out of that way of harm's way. And what happens is, at this point in time, our immune system's not getting the right blood flow. Our digestive system's not getting the right blood flow. Our brain isn't getting the right blood flow. What's happening is we're in a state of emotion. Those chemicals of stress, those hormones of stress release over and over and over again. Sure, in the years ago, what happened was somebody was chasing a predator or whatever, where this was all came about. But now we can self-induce those same feelings because we become dependent upon those neuropeptides that are released on those cortisol and adrenaline that are released. We can actually recreate that same thing through thought alone. So what happens now is we can induce those chemicals to be released. We become drug dependent on those cortisol and adrenaline in those stressful situations where we can create that stress again just simply by thought. So those thoughts are actually making us ill. And what happens is continuous thoughts where your blood pressure is elevated, your blood flows, your heart rate's elevated for that fight or flight. Well, we've did this with thought alone. So if your thoughts can make you ill like that, your same thoughts can actually change you for the better. And that's the key to tapping into. And that's why I'm so passionate about, I used to do a lot of training with network marketers about, how to get leads, how to talk to people and all that kind of stuff. But what I found was if the people don't realize that they can do it, that they don't have a belief in themselves. And what happens is they're not going to do it. Their subconscious isn't going to let them pick up that phone because you're not a network marketer. You're not a successful one. These businesses don't work. People get in and they do nothing. People don't have the money. People don't want to talk to you. People won't take the time. Those limiting beliefs are holding so many people back. It's the ability to, when you can change someone's belief structure, it's like their self-confidence. One of the key things is building people's self-confidence. Most people, you need a self-confidence level up here to succeed, but most of the time it's way down here. So how do you build that self-confidence? Well, I call it getting stacked for success, where you actually take small little things that you can do, that you can see. Lack of self-confidence comes from one thing. It's from not keeping those promises that you've made to yourself. And what happens is over time, you don't have a belief that you're going to be able to follow through. So you don't even take on things. And that's what holds a lot of people back from the successes that they should be having. And the key here is create success stacking, getting stacked for success. Simple little things. I start people off with a simple thing like, hydration. Most people don't hydrate nearly enough. Instead of drinking another gallon of water a day, start off with another bottle of water a day. And better yet, start off with putting that bottle on your next to your bed at night. So when you wake up in the morning, you can drink that. This is going to help clarify your brain. Your brain is comprised of a lot of water. You know, your whole system is 75% water. And you dehydrate overnight. That simple 16-ounce bottle of water in the morning is going to get you back going even quicker. But what happens is now you do that for a week or so. That's a success. You can continue that habit now, and you develop it. You stack that on top. Another one, go to bed 15 minutes earlier. Wake up 15 minutes earlier. You know, say you love your wife a couple more times a day. You know, hug your kids 3 or 4 more times. You know, simple little tasks that you can do. See, these are things not astronomical. Like, don't make 500 phone calls this week. Simple little tasks that you can do each time. And you do it over time and time and time, and reward yourself after a couple of weeks of doing that. That triggers that dopamine, which actually is the fuel to compel you to do more. And what happens is you start to have the belief that you do keep the promises that you make. And before you know it, you're stacking that success on top of each other. Now you got a rock solid self-confidence. You're willing to take on anything because you know that you're going to follow through. See, that's when there's so many simple things. These are life tools that we're all born with, and we've never been given the manual. And I feel like I was given the manual, and I got to show it, share it to people, because otherwise they're just going to go through life living a reactionary life to reacting to what life throws at them, not realizing that they have a choice. They can control their destiny, but they've got to know what it is in order to get it. I mean, that vision is your first component. That's what that's what creates that, starts to develop that roadmap. Without that, nothing's going to happen. And then you just got to set your beliefs and work on those beliefs, transform those limiting beliefs. You know, over time, you can break apart those synaptic connections of those beliefs and the energy to build new beliefs of affirmations of ability. And you take on a whole new persona, a whole different person. You know, I don't know. Sorry for going off on a tangent here.
No, it's brilliant. Brilliant.
Thanks. You might have just saved my life with the lupus.
Absolutely brilliant. Sorry to keep you back, but that was amazing.
8 years of my graduate studies right there in
Really?
20 minutes.
Really? You know, I'm a simple guy. I was never into any of this kind of stuff. And when it hit me hard. And I was like, and when I started to apply what I was learning and seeing the results, I was like, holy crap, this stuff really works. Now I find myself, it's funny, I'll be at the gym doing my exercise, my routine. Not right now with COVID, it hasn't been quite the same, but before I have no problem. The gym would be filled with people. I'll go live do my Facebook Live there about, you know, teaching this stuff. And I'll have 3 or 4 people who get off their machines and they'll go over, sit on the other side of the camera, and they're like listening to it. After I'm done, I'll be a half an hour explaining more to them, you know, but I love doing that, you know.
You can tell it.
Yeah.
You can tell it.
Yeah. But that's, you know, like I heard a lot of people here in the group here, well, you know, I can't do this and I can't do that. Ray Higdon, one of my mentors as well, he coined the phrase. I don't know if he coined it, but he's the first person I heard it from. And with all my learning, I realize it's the fact. He said, you get to keep the words you speak. You know, you get to keep those words you speak. If you say you can't, you can't. That's how it comes down to. You know, believe in yourself. You know, have that vision. Instead of going to bed thinking about all the crap you put up with today, all the things that you're facing tomorrow, start working with that vision of your success in the future. Start sharing gratitude for things that you already have. Start sharing gratitude for your new affirmations of ability that you want to develop. In other words, having gratitude for those affirmations of ability and for your future success based on your new vision before it happens is the true testament that it's actually occurred. And this actually helps to reprogram that subconscious even faster. And the thing is, when you're just getting ready to go to sleep, your brain is what's known as the theta wave state, where your subconscious is the most accessible, you know, except for when you're in meditation. But the key is, a lot of people can't meditate, but just simply, you know, rehearsing that vision and those affirmations and the gratitude in those final couple 10 minutes, in the first 10 minutes when you wake up, you're reprogramming yourself. You're basically giving your subconscious the the tasks to help you to maintain that who you believe yourself are with that new vision. And the key is your subconscious will go to work and find those things. It's going to find the things to support that new vision of who you are. It's going to take a little while. It's nothing that's going to happen in a week, but usually 60 some days before they start to see something. But what happens is you're going to feel different things along the way. It's going to feel different, and you're not going to wonder. You're going to wonder why, but you're going to realize it feels good. Why does it feel good? Because that's what you've developed. That's what you've set in place, and that's why it feels right. And the more things you get that more feeling. You want to do even more. You can't change everything overnight. But the thing is, grab those handful of limiting beliefs that you want to change. Grab those. Have that focus of what your new success looks like. And start to eliminate those limiting beliefs, start to transform those into affirmations of ability. You're going to find more. And when you're doing this, like with your limiting beliefs, I always like to get people, pick up a dollar notebook, start writing down what some of your limiting beliefs are when you're sitting down and getting ready to take on a project like this. Write down what those limiting beliefs are, okay, and start to identify. Each page gets one belief. Write them down. And as you start to write them down, you get a couple of limiting beliefs down there. Then what you want to do is you want to create what's known as an affirmation of ability, which is the antithesis to that limiting belief. And it's not like, oh, I'm going to do this when I get there. No, it's got to be all like positively speaking, so your subconscious can't differentiate the negative, the not do or this kind of stuff. But it's got to be in that affirmation is in present tense and stuff like that. But when you do this, what happens is you're also firing your reticular activator to go around and find more of those, looking for more of those limiting beliefs. And now what happens, you're going to start to find more. Some of them you'll be all right having. It's not going to be a big issue, but there's some that you've got to iron out. A lot of people have a bad limiting belief when it comes to money. They don't feel that, they're worthy of it. And that's one of the reasons why they're not allowed to have that success or take on something that will allow them to have that success, because they're holding themselves back. That's, there's so many different things, but these are the power tools of life, until you learn how to use them. In my traditional business, I use power tools all the time. And if I don't use them right, it could cost me my life. It's the same thing with these tools. People don't use them the right way, they're going to waste an entire life. We have the ability to, change our lives to, get what we want out of it. We weren't put here to live a mediocre life, just get by. We were put here to, have that success, but also help other people get that success. And that's one of my main things is I want to have a massive impact on that ripple, on that pond of life, helping as many people as I can to see what I saw. I mean, it took me till my 60s. I was in my 60s when I saw this, and I want people to know it sooner,
Do you need to put that into a course? Seriously?
Yeah.
You do?
That's what I want to do. I want, like what I just talked about, I want to build a course like that. Think about being able to take a course where you could actually learn how to reprogram yourself, I mean, I don't know. It's just, I see so many people held back with their inherent beliefs. And when you really start to examine limiting beliefs, most of those beliefs were imprinted on you by other people. You were born with no limiting beliefs whatsoever. And, through your parents, through your friends, your associations, your media and stuff like that. What happens is our subconscious, that's how it gets its knowledge, through imprinting, not by reading and this and that, but by constantly imprinting. And those beliefs that we've heard and heard and heard over and over again, from the time we were born up until now, they've created our personal reality of who we are. And the key is, if you don't change that, those same beliefs that are developing that subconscious program are going to give you, that's why next week is going to look pretty much like this week. That's why last year looks pretty much like this year. That's why next year is going to be the same with a little more adversity and challenge, but the same. Once you learn how to change it, everything else changes. Who was it who said, in order for things to change, you've got to change? I think it was Jim Rohn, and that's where change comes from within. Don't have that delayed gratification. Hey, when I get successful, I'll do this. No, success comes first within,
Love it.
Sorry, I could.
No, that was amazing.
I don't want to keep you guys
Tom.
all up. I know you want
No.
to. We want to watch Eric Worre's thing, but
No,
That
you
was
were
amazing.
you were Eric. Were
Just give us.
Yeah, seriously.
I just
You
wanted
were
to,
better.
He's
You're
he
gonna
was
be.
been the best speaker so far, and anything I've been in. Seriously,
I was
that's
gonna say I saw Connie put that there. Tom is a key speaker at our event, folks. Let's give our hand to our first speaker at our event. We're hired.
I have a passion for it because it's had such an effect for me, and I think everybody should be able to experience that, you know? I mean, there's just so many books, and Napoleon Hill.
Start working on your slides now, bro.
you do. You need to make that into a
You need
course.
slides for the event. It's a virtual event. We're doing it on November, so start preparing. You're gonna have a 15-minute, 20-minute spot, okay?
Yeah, okay.
Life experiences built into those theories are the best learning tool there are.
It is, you know, when you can share those, that kind of like what Mark in story stitching and sharing the journey, the hero's journey. That's what I'm trying to put that all together now. You know, how I can make that all flow, you know?
You make a high ticket course out of that easy.
I think there'd be people who'd be interested, you know?
I
Yep.
do too.
Definitely.
You know, but
Well, you're gonna have 1,000 people at the event. That's the goal. The goal.
I'll have my book ready by then.
The whole thing there, everything you just said, sounded to me, and I've heard a lot of friggin' speakers.
That's Mark.
Yeah, it sounded to me like it was planned, like it was flowing, like everything you said followed the previous topic. It followed, and the reason that happens is because of this. The reason, like, it was beautiful.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I learned a lot. I'm using this as content. You're going to want to cut this out.
Wasn't that absolutely amazing? The spur of the moment just started talking about his philosophy about mindset and how you can change yours. I know it changed mine. This is like the 5th time I've listened to that. And that was just off the cuff, one of the leaders within the group talking. If you want to join us and you want to see what we're doing and how we do it and where we're going and where we're going, come on in. Grab that link below and follow it and join us. You can come in too.